Hi, this is Everett's Watercolors. Welcome to Simply Drawing with Everett. And I'm broadcasting live tonight to YouTube, LinkedIn, Facebook, and Twitch. And I'll be doing a replay on Instagram. So I'm in the studio live tonight with my wife, Gloria.
Welcome, everyone.
And I've got the chat room live, and she'll be monitoring the broadcast also. Tonight I'm going to do another drawing, and this is I think, a very interesting drawing. I'm going to be drawing a glass of water. So let's go to my overhead camera, my close-up camera. Let's take a look. Here's the on my left over here. This is my reference photograph, and I've got a couple tools here. I'm going to start with an HB pencil, and this yellow pencil is a standard number 2, and that's going to be for sighting. Most important part in drawing is to get the proper dimensions and proportion. Okay, so first thing we'll do here, and this is the glass of water. It's a regular glass or wine glass, and it's got just water in it. And I took a photograph of this on my still life setup, and I thought that'd be interesting to draw this tonight. Let's get the dimensions. So right there, it's from top to bottom is 1 pencil length. So I'm going to go ahead over here, and I'm going to go ahead and put a couple reference points here. Okay, now let's measure the width. There's the width, and you can see there it measures. It's about this width is about the same as 2 heights, or 2 widths is equal to 1 height. Just put it the other way around. So let's take a measurement here. And I'm going to put that right here in the middle. So I'm going to put that in the middle of my drawing, and I'll measure out that. So now I've got the important dimensions here of the drawing. I've got the width or the height, and I've got the width right here. So let's start drawing this in. You can see here at the top, it's an ellipse. So I'm going to start here. Let's see how far out I go. Get the back of that. Get the back edge of that. Here's about the center right here. And the width there it curves in. I'm getting this edge right here. And I'm going to get down to the halfway point. Let's see, so the halfway point is halfway down. So let's go there. Let's measure halfway. And let's check that again. Yep, that's halfway. That's exactly what I have here. So the bottom of the glass here is half the height. So I can start that little measurement. And let's get this side over here. I'm starting at the edge here. I'm going to come and curve around. So I'm working on the outline of the glass. This is working on the outline. I got the top, got the side, and now it's going to come down here to the middle, or the middle here. The middle is in the middle, so I'll bring this curves down. And then I'm going to go back up here on the other side. Okay. And then I'm going to estimate. I'm going to just do a contour drawing of this. I say, okay, so the middle, come down here. So I'm in the middle of the glass. My measurement this is the bottom down here. So let's see. I can take a sighting here. I'm going to sight the edge of the bottom here. So now I've got the I just measured the I measured an exact measurement. I measured here off the photograph, and I transferred that to my drawing, and made a mark right there. So that's the bottom of the glass, the base. And I'm just gonna do a contour of that. I'm just gonna just eyeball that in. It's not exact. It's not a perfect circle. It's like an ellipse. I'm sorry, ellipse. It's not a circle. circles equal, and this has got more, it's at an angle, so I'm looking down on it, so it's like an elliptical shape. Okay. Let's see if I got the center of that okay. Center comes down, yep, here and here. Okay, now I can start moving in the center section. And that's not exactly in the center, it's a little bit up higher, like that. And this section here, the stem goes up the center, and it starts to flare about halfway up. It starts to flare out toward the base of the glass. So I'm doing a contour drawing now. I'm looking with my eyes. I'm following my eyeball. I'm studying it with contour drawing. Okay. All right. So I got basically the basic overall shape, and you can see there. I've got the base of the glass and the outline of the top. Okay. So I've got that pretty well roughed in. Okay, now let's decide how far down we're going to put the water. So I'm going to estimate the top of the glass, and this is a circle. It's not a this is not a circle. It's an oval. It's an oval shape going around here. Very important we get that. Oval shape, a little bit sharper there. Around here, a little bit sharper there. Okay, so that's the top of the glass. That's an oval shape. Now we come down and we start marking the water edge. It doesn't have to be the exact. I'm going to say the back of the glass is about right there. And then the front of the water line is about right there. So I'm going to use that as my guide. And again, that's another, the shape is going to be elliptical. It's going to be an ellipse. It's going to be an ellipse, circular, so there's no sharp edges. It has round edges. And we'll go this way. So now I'm drawing in that elliptical shape of the water top. Okay. Okay, I got that in. All right, I'll go down here at the base. There's a little reflection here from the background. I'll put that in. A little reflection here. I'm going to finalize what I see on the drawing. So I'll get the drawing here pretty well straightened out. Okay. So that's the rough end outline of the glass. Okay, now let's start working on some of the details. So I did the sighting by using the dimensions of the from the photograph. I went ahead and transferred it to my drawing. The outline, I got the outline in by contour drawing. Just look at the contour and drew that in. Now the most interesting thing about glassware is there's a lot of lost and found edges. And what I mean by lost and found edges, way back here in the back, it's because of the background, that's almost a lost edge because it's so light. So I'm going to erase a dark line. I'm going to make sure that's very light back there. That part of the lip of the glass is almost invisible. That's what I call a lost edge. Now the front part here, I can see there's a dark spot, so that's going to be the found edge, lost and found. So this forward edge is going to have a dark edge on it. You can see right there. So I have lost back here, and then it comes around and found. Okay. Now along with the water line is also a very faint water line, and it picks up now as I come forward. Now again, it comes dark. There's a darker spot here. So that's how we make it look like water. We have to get the light and dark areas. Now this side of the glass here is also lost. You don't see that. It's almost invisible. So that's lost. Now we have down on the side. Now on the side here is a little shadow, and that's from the depth of the water. The light going through the water also has given it a shadow on this edge over here. So that gives me a found edge. That helps define this edge over here, is that shadow on the water. And I'll take that little piece off of there, erasing my rough marks there. So I'm shading in a little bit of this left side, just like it is over here. And I'll come down, and the shadow, there's a shadow here at the bottom of the glass, right here at the bottom. So that's a found edge, and this edge here needs to be a little smoother. So a little bit of observation on that one. Okay. As we come around here, this side over here is also this is a lost edge over here. The only thing I can bring in there is a very faint shadow from the water. This is darker on this side. That's lighter over here. So I can put a very light shadow on this side. Very light. Okay, then we come down here, and we got there's some shadows here, there's some reflections on this part here. I can go ahead and put that in. Little dark spots here. It's dark back here on the rim. The rim of the base has got a dark shadow. So I can put that all the way around, just basically all the way around, a dark shadow on the rim. Okay. Now I can take my kneaded eraser here and just kind of clean up some of the marks here to take some of my rough edges off. And you start. Now I can take. Now I'll use the HB pencil. That's the HB to do the sketching. And now I can pick up a darker lead, which is a 4B, and I can do a little shading. So I can go ahead and put this. I'll make this a little bit darker over on this side over here. And then I think I'm going to put a little shading in. I'm going to shade the water just a little bit, just so we differentiate that between the glass and the actual water. I'm just going to put a little bit of shadow on that. Just a little shading on the water, okay? And we've already darkened that front there. This part here, we're going to darken this a little bit more underneath. There's a little shadow down here. That'll help define the stem a little bit. Then we can put a little more shadow around the base. Now as far as background, I mean, we could add in here, we could add in a little shadow back here. I mean, we can come in here and put a little bit of shadow. From the photograph, there's I've had the light from the room light, ceiling light, was coming down, so I could put a little bit of shadow. That would help define this edge over here. So I would add a shadow to this side, just so we can define the right side of the glass. And that helps define the edge there, just like it does in the photograph. You see the shadow edge on the side, so I can go ahead and down and put that down, and I can go ahead and put that in as a cast shadow from the light box. So that helps a little bit of defining the edge over there. Then over here, there's also a shadow that's coming through the photograph. There's a little bit over here that could help out a little bit. So we can put a little shadow on this side, just to give a little dimension. So I'm kind of looking at the photograph and kind of using some of the shapes in here to help define a little bit of the of the edges of the glass. Okay, and then the actual part on the base here, I can just go ahead and draw a line in. This was the background, or I have this laying on. I have a light box that I have where I can put it into it, just like it is in a drawing, and I can go ahead and put that in. So if I want to complete the drawing and make it look like the photograph or close to the photograph, then I can go ahead and use some of these the values and the colors around. I'm going to fill some of this in and come over here and do this side. So drawing glass is really, you're drawing, the point I want to make here is that when you draw glass, you're really drawing the reflections, because glass is clear. So only thing you can draw is the reflections that are on the glass and the shadows that are cast on it. Because the glass is going to reflect the items around it. It's going to reflect the background. It's going to reflect objects you can see through the glass. So it's going to show what's behind the glass. So glassware is a very interesting drawing subject to pick up, make it look like a real glass. But if you paint the shadows and paint the reflections, then you can pretty well come up with a pretty good likeness. But this is going to be just a demonstration of how I would draw this. Now, instead of using I can just use my fingertips, and I can blend in this background a little bit. Just use my fingers. The graphite will smooth out just by using my fingertip. So I can go ahead and blend that in. Same way over here. I can blend this side in. And even the background here on the table, on the shadow box. Just use my finger, and I can blend that in without using a blender. And if I have a stump like this, a small stump, then I can go in and do some final touch for detail shading. Then I'll use a stump or a Titilian. But sometimes I just use my fingers if I want to do a quick study or a quick sketch. So here I'm just smoothing in some of the lines, and I'll go ahead and blend in this the top of the water here to give a little bit of just a little shading with the water. That's just a little shadow coming from the shadow box, but it's different from the water inside the glass. Now the only thing I can do now, I've got the glass, I've got the shape of the glass, and some of the outline of it. And what I can do now, in order to finish it off, I've got an acrylic pen here, and you can use a gel pen. You can use a white gel pen, or you can use a white charcoal pencil, or you can use white watercolors. There's several ways of doing that. But the reflections you see here in the glass, what we can do here is just using this white marker, and this is acrylic white. I can go ahead and put in the little white spots here. Let's see, there's a little bit along the edge of here. There's also a little bit of edge at the top of the glass. So here you can just do some fine tuning where you got reflections, because the glass is going to reflect light. If you have a light in the room or something, it's going to reflect off the glass. And that's what I'm doing now. I'm just going and putting in little touches here showing where the light would come in. And down here on the stem, there'll be some marks down here, and even down here on the bottom a little bit, there'll be some white marks. And especially around the base, there'll be little white edges, reflections. So you can add, if you have white white charcoal pencil or a white marker, such as a gel pen. You can add that to your drawing to give it a little more realistic look. Okay, well, I'm not going to do much more with this. I want to go. I'm going to show you something here I've done already before. Now let's talk about this now. This is an interesting subject. It's a very simple glass with water in it, and you stage it in front of you, take a picture of it. It's better to take a picture, or you could do it in still life. You could just sit it there in front of you and draw it. But because of the demonstration, I took a picture of it so I could show you the picture and then do the drawing with it. But we can see here we come very close to the actual size and the shape and the dimensions of the actual glass. And it starts to look like a glass with more definition to it. Now you can do a lot more with this subject matter here. Now here, let me show you an example. You could take this glass and you could do things with it. You could stick a brush. In this particular photograph here, I put a paintbrush inside there. And you can see there's refraction. Drawing refraction is also a very interesting object. So one step above this is to do something with your item, is to add things around it. Here I put a paintbrush inside. I put some items down here and so forth. Now I want to show you here. I did a drawing. I did a drawing a while back. I want to share that with you. This is a drawing I did of a glass with a paintbrush in the glass, and I did the paint tubes on the bottom, and there was even a painting behind it. And you can see the refraction in that. And this drawing here, and I just looked at it, and I couldn't believe it. I haven't looked at this drawing in a while. I just pulled it out tonight to share it with you. But I did this in February of 2003. That's over 20 years ago. I just realized that. That's over 20 years ago I did this drawing. So you can see that there's a lot more detail in that, and it would take a little longer to draw that up. But that makes a very interesting composition for a water glass. Okay? So I wanted to share that with you tonight to show you what else you can do with just painting an ordinary, instead of just drawing and sketching a plain ordinary glass. You can put things with it to make it more interesting. Of course, the more complicated you make the drawing or the photograph, it's going to take a little more time to actually draw it out. But this adding the brush in here is just a matter of drawing the lines in and then putting the shape in there. That's what you see. Just draw what you see into the actual drawing. I would start with something like this, then I would add the actual item, say the brush. I would draw it right in there, just the way I see it in the glass. And if I had other things around, like I have tubes of paint and so forth, I could draw those in and also on top of this. So that's the next step I would recommend to you as an artist, is to try an ordinary plain glass of water, draw that. Then once you've done that a couple of times and feel confident, and then start adding some features to it. Put a paintbrush in it and this is called refraction, where the water gives it magnifies it and also gives it an angle, which is very interesting. That's what I used in the drawing I just showed you a few minutes ago. So those are the things I wanted to share with you tonight: how to draw water in a glass of water. And so I'll be back again next Thursday at 7:30 p.m. for another drawing demonstration. And so between now and then, we got New Year's Eve. So Happy New Year to you next time I see you. And I also will be doing my live also on Thursday at 2 o'clock with my watercolor demonstration at 2 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time at Rich Watercolors. And then I'll be back doing Simply Drawing with Everett at 7:30 p.m. Next Thursday at 7:30 p.m. Oh. So I wanted to get on the main camera to say goodbye to you all. Thank you all for looking in tonight. And if you have comments or questions, put them down in the comments below, and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. So I appreciate you looking in, and give me a thumbs up and subscribe and tell your friends about me. I'll be back here again next Thursday at 7:30 p.m. for drawing, and at 2 o'clock p.m. or 2 o'clock p.m. with my watercolor demonstration. So until then, Happy New Year to you all, and take care, and I'll see you next year. Goodbye.